And a happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. Welcome back to the Grade A Flicks channel for another episode of Grade A Fantasy, previewing the wide receiver position for the Week 1 FanDuel slate. So far, I already covered the quarterbacks, also 2 news articles regarding the Juju Smith-Schuster addition to the wide receiver core, and also the value in Arizona with the Zay Jones suspension. So a lot of things opening up there. I actually normally would, like most channels, go quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and then I combine tight end and defense together. But when I saw these prices drop early in August, the first week of August, I originally already saw a ton of value open up from the beginning before any news. Like, there are guys in the 5,000s that are worth playing. Like I said, you got the Shakirs, you got the Adam Thielens. A lot of talk about this young man right here, Lad McConkey. You got Rashid Shaheed, who's a deep threat at 5,200. And then, of course, I went over the video. Curtis Samuel, who's a multi-Swiss Army knife. He's definitely, I feel, definitely going to have some ability to have a prominent role in Buffalo. And then, of course, when I went over the wide receiver threat, there goes Greg Dortch. Zay Jones suspended. And then you still got guys down here that can still help. Quentin Johnson, like I said, people talk about how much targets left Buffalo. I think it's pretty understated how much targets left, like I said, the Los Angeles Chargers. Like I said, Mike Williams, gone. Austin Eckler, gone. Keenan Allen, gone. Gerald Everett, who was a nice wide receiver, who was a nice athletic target. Now, I think they went to their backup man. I forgot his name. But LA and Buffalo, it's going to take a couple weeks to figure out who's who. It's really going to take some time to figure out who's who. But I'm going to get to all the way down to, I think you guys are going to be surprised, but it's going to make some sense. As I go through this episode, you're going to see that the wide receiver value actually goes down almost to the minimum. I'm going to show you a $4,200 guy that you might want to pay attention to. But as always, I'm not going to talk about every wide receiver. I'm going to talk about the guys that are the key to this week. We're going to start at the top. He's the most expensive on the slate. Not only the most expensive wide receiver, he's the most expensive player. I think the most expensive quarterback is Josh Allen, if I'm not mistaken, at 9 even. Running back wise, no, Josh Allen is 9.2. Running back wise, I think the highest running back is possibly maybe just under 9. I think is it Bijan? I think it's Bijan because McCaffrey's not on the slate. So, and then the running back show, tight ends, I will have this all done because I've been doing my homework and everything. Plus, I've been preparing for other shows. There's going to be little surprises coming later this week. But for the entire slate, not to get off topic, the entire slate will be previewed by the end of this Labor Day weekend. Don't be surprised if after I drop this wide receiver video that the running back show will be up tonight. And then, as I said, I could possibly do, like I said, I'm combining the tight end and the defense show by tomorrow. But by Labor Day weekend, the entire slate will be previewed. Like I said, the only big news that could possibly change now, if anybody gets hurt during practice between now and their Sunday game, once again, main big difference on FanDuel. FanDuel has the 8:20 game on NBC. Rams at Detroit, rematch from the playoffs. DraftKings does not. So, let's continue. After Tyreek Hill, like I said, you got the big dogs here. CeeDee Lamb just signed his deal. Jamar Chase. That's been an ongoing thing. You already got, and then you got Justin Jefferson against the Giants. You already got 4 people that's still at 9,000. We still haven't broken 9,000 yet. Some people will like to try and fit this guy in. I got a feeling he's going to be decently owned. I don't think he could be heavily owned. Because if you want to get one of those other 2 top guys, you're going to have to find some value elsewhere to fit somebody like, and then to have Amon-Ra St. Brown at 8,900. And once again, he's kind of like an insurance policy because there will be people that's going to take the strategy like, hey, that game could poop out and he could get fantasy points, but he's not going to get the touchdown. It's a strategy that you can take, but a lot of people will be taking pieces here and there. Now, it's going to be hard to stack. You're gonna have to make sure that the pieces that you have at 1 and 4 do their thing, so your stack better go off at the end. There's gonna be other popular plays. So when we talk about people like the Sun God and obviously Puka Nakua right next to each other, 89, and then a decent drop at 84. Who are you gonna stack? Because I already know both golf and excuse me. I understand that both quarterback golf and wow, why can I not think about his name right now? Wow, the quarterback is Matthew Stafford. I don't know why he just blanked on me like that. Both of those guys are definitely going to be low compared to the other quarterbacks. So it is an interesting stack if that game goes off. Plus, I think it's the highest total on the slate. We're going to get to these next two guys are definitely my two favorite targets. We're going to keep attacking. We're going to keep attacking that Washington secondary. Mike Evans, he's definitely without a doubt my favorite player. I think he's going to be the highest owned wide receiver. Depending on the contest, he could be anywhere from 19 to 23, maybe even 30%. Plus at 7,900. Now, you probably heard that on other channels already. I don't need to get in depth with Mike Evans. Like I said, you already know what these guys are. On Ross St. Brown and Puka give you exposure to that 820 game. Once again, FanDuel has the last game of the day. You already know what these guys can do. I think the person that's not being talked about, and he has a better quarterback to have throw him the ball, Davante Adams. The Los Angeles Chargers defense, besides some guys on the defensive front, they spent money on the defensive backfield, and none of those choices have panned out. It is a defense that is very underwhelming. Bosa and the rest of that front seven kind of make up for it, but that secondary is very suspect and it's trash. It's trash to the point, to me, and very disappointing to the point where it's like attack Tampa Bay pass funnel and attack Washington and attack Titans defensive backs. Defensive backfield kind of bad. I want to get into a couple of stats with Davante Adams. Now, last year with a lesser quarterback, with worse quarterback play, because Gardner Minshew is an improvement. He is. In 2 games, 25 targets, 31.6 FanDuel points. If with better quarterback play, I think we could increase that, and then we could also add a touchdown to that. Davante Adams, I think, could possibly go low owned. I don't think anybody's really talking about the Las Vegas offense, but Minshew is an upgrade at quarterback, and with a talent like Davante Adams, Minshew has the ability to, yes, spread it around, but he's going to give the number one a lot of targets. Just like he gave Michael Pittman a lot of targets last year, Davante Adams on top, once again, 25 targets, okay? Combined for 31.6 FanDuel points. I'm going to tap Davante here, and we're going to take a look at his game log and what he did last year. 12 targets, 8 receptions, 101 and a touchdown, 20.1. Let's go back earlier in the year. 13 targets, 8 for 75, 11.5. Didn't get the touchdown, but if he got that kind of target share from the quarterbacks last year, the way Gardner Minshew focused on Michael Pittman, Davante Adams, I think, is the low-owned option. I'm telling you. I think a lot of people are going to pick Evans. He's probably going to be the most popular pick. I think in certain contests, Mike Evans is looking at being like running back usage. I think Mike Evans is going to be 32.7. Davante Adams is somebody that I don't think people are giving enough credit and the ability and attention for week 1. He's definitely, without a doubt, my favorite play. Love Evans going against that horrible Washington secondary. But Adams has pretty much, ever since he got to the Raiders, after Derek Carr, a lot of people don't like Derek Carr. Some people might say Minshew's better than Derek Carr, but Minshew's going to give him his targets. So do not underestimate what Davante Adams and Minshew could do against a very suspect LA Chargers defensive backfield. I love Davante Adams. He's the one that's not getting paid attention to. That's what I feel. Waddle 7.2 K home against Jacksonville. You already know how it is. If they key in on, it's an offense that don't pay attention to the tight end. So if they don't key in or double Tyreek Hill, and he could beat on one-on-one matchups anyway. Waddle is also a good, solid pick in one of the high, like I said, in the third highest scoring total on this slate. We're gonna go down. Here's another person that's going to be. He's cheap. Puka Nakua is the wave right now. He's going to be popular, but like I said, it gives you Cooper Cup gives you exposure to that last game. You can't afford that last game to be blown up and not have pieces of it. So it all depends on how you. Like I said, I think the advantage. I think the advantage in any contest is to try and maybe stack that game instead of having a semi-popular to a very popular piece like Amon Ra, maybe Puka, maybe even. But Cooper Cup is definitely going to be. I mean, after what you do with the value, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of value that's opened up more and more. But obviously, to go against Cup, you might want to pay up for Puka because he's going to be probably less owned, being 8,400. The Sun God is going to be nicely owned at 8,900. But I really think Cooper Cup is definitely going to be. He could be possibly cash games, 7,000 even, but it's definitely something to think about. You see, Chris Olave could have a deep threat against Carolina. That's fine. DJ Metcalf, that's okay. But let's go down to we're gonna attack some more suspect secondaries. DJ Moore, the thing with the Chicago wide receivers that I like is the fact that you're kind of trying to figure out where everything's going. Moore was already the man that had a great season with Justin Fields. Now you got Keenan Allen working the slot. Rome Odunze, very underrated. I think he's going to be rocking the left side wide receiver position, and is also a speedy deep threat as well. But DJ Moore is definitely a solid pick against Tennessee. I understand we see Diggs there, whatever, but we're going to continue going. Oh, and there's a thing there. If something happens with the contract situation with Jamar Chase, oh boy, does T. Higgins gain. A huge amount of popularity at 6,800. He'll basically be the number one. A number one wide receiver with Joe Burrow giving it to you against a suspect and rebuilding New England defense. Like I said, it's a saga that you still have to monitor throughout the week. But if Jamar Chase doesn't play game one, something happens or whatever the case is, T. Higgins would, without a doubt, he'll be more popular than Mike Evans. It's already across the fantasy industry that Mike Evans, on both sites, is probably the most popular play on both sites on DraftKings and FanDuel. But no Jamar Chase, it will definitely be T. Higgins. Evans is 7,900. T. Higgins against New England is 1,100 cheaper. So, yeah, do the math there. I love Drake London against Pittsburgh. There you go with Keenan Allen. Amari Cooper. I already know everybody's hyped about Marvin Harrison Jr., but I'm hyped about Michael Pittman Jr. Jr. Why? He was Anthony Richardson's top target. Anthony Richardson, remember, got knocked out after the first 4 games. It's a short sample size, but it's not the easiest habit to break. Michael Pittman is the man there. When you see the first 4 games, look at this. Now, he did complete the first 2 games. 11 and 12 targets. Like I said, part of DFS is opportunity. He's going to have the opportunity to score here. Okay? So, 11 and 12 targets. He got 11 targets in the game that he got knocked out early. Remember, the 3rd game he got knocked out early, and then he came back for the 4th game, and that was the injury that knocked him out. And with the injury that knocked him out, he didn't make the first half. Pittman already had 5 targets. So all I'm saying is, and then of course from here on out, as I said right here, let's go back to the Gardner Minshew, Devontae Adams thing. Gardner Minshew was his quarterback from here on out. 7 targets, 14 targets, 5, 13, 8, 12, 13, 16, 11. So right there, I just proved to you that Gardner Minshew was going to get Devontae Adams a lot of targets. And we're still not finished at 5, 7, 6. So even with the backup, Gardner Minshew's lowest target rate was what, 5? Yeah, it was 5. Gardner Minshew was going to give Devontae Adams the ball. But Anthony Richardson, as you can see in those first 4 weeks, he's going to focus on Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman in what? Basically, those four weeks right there, 22, 34, and then another 5. So almost 40 targets in 2 weeks. Short sample size, but it's what Anthony Richardson does besides run the ball himself. Michael Pittman is not talked about enough. I got a feeling he's going to be low owned because I think a lot of people think He's going to have a lot of opportunities taken away with Anthony Richardson running the ball towards the goal line inside the 10 and the 20. And then, of course, you have Jonathan Taylor. Michael Pittman is somebody you should keep on your radar. As we keep going down here, we're getting into kind of like value territory. Like I said, you got Tank Dell. Malik Neighbors is looking very popular. I like Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is the number one, clear number one. And when I see what's behind him, geez, the reason why the Cowboys did what they did in grabbing the former Vikings running back is because when it comes to depth, there's not much there. Aging Zeke Elliott, semi-unproven Rico Dowdle. And then why are people's names leaving me for some reason? I can't get these people's names right. I don't know what's going on. Let's just go to running back. Well, both teams have the same situation. They lack depth, and he's still not on the slate. Wow, why I can't remember the former former running back for Why can I not remember this former running back's name? Oh, man, the guy from Minnesota. Anyway, we'll just go back here. His name will probably pop back up in a bit in my mind. But the only reason why I compare that is the reason they did what they did is because the depth is horrible. So let's go to the Commanders. And when you look at this, now I will get to one of my favorite plays later. But when it comes to the top two, Terry McLaurin, Olamide Zaccheaus, former Philadelphia slot guy. I mean, the reason why you should pay attention to this, Buccaneers defense is still the same. Plus they lost Shaq Barrett. So that's another pass rusher that's gone. And there's still a pass funnel. Bit by bit, the championship defense from about 3-4 years ago are leaving, and the Buccaneers defense will be rebuilding. Plus, Shaq Barrett retired this year. So that Buccaneers defense has always been suspect to the pass, even from the Brady years. So it is an interesting stack to go with the rookie quarterback from the Commanders, and obviously go with number one target Terry McLaurin. But there's a value play that I want to talk about later after all the cuts happened. So let's go back. We'll take a look at the wide receivers. Let's reset the Commanders and put it to all teams. And then, of course, with less traffic from other people, who do I like the most? Down here. And then after that, everything's a value. Of course, Tyler Lockett, Gabe Davis, a deep threat. But like I said, he's boom bust. I'm here to talk about the favorite plays, what my favorite plays are. And Christian Kirk going against Miami. After Calvin Ridley, they pretty much stayed with their regular receiving core. So Calvin Ridley's gone, Christian Kirk, Ingram, and I think it opens up more passes and dump offs for Travis Etienne. Christian Kirk, do not forget about him. That Miami offense is not that defense is not that good. I think it's slightly overrated. They can still be beaten in the past. That defense plays better from ahead. And then obviously if you're ahead by a decent amount, wide receivers are more in play because you want to play catch up. Running backs won't be in play as much. But Travis Etienne is a multi-purpose back. All three down back. So even in the blowout, it doesn't affect Travis Etienne play that much at all. Now, as we go down here, we are going to go bargain hunting. There are a lot of guys. Nobody's talking about Rome Odunze. I think Rome Odunze is a tournament play because a lot of people are focused on Moore, Keenan Allen. I think they're forgetting about the deep threat that the rookie can be. I think Rome Odunze against a suspect Tennessee defense can be used. I think he's a tournament play. He's still a tournament play. With new additions, Jerry Judy's gone. So Cortland Sutton against Seattle. Seattle's not the strongest defense. Yes, you heard me say over the last couple of years, we all know Seattle plays better at home. But Cortland Sutton with Bo Nix can put up some numbers. Obviously, one of my more popular cheap plays, Khalil Shakir, Adam Thielen. both 5400. They could definitely open up some things for you to have two stud wide receivers, and maybe even a stud running back. I don't think Carolina's going to be as bad. I obviously it depends on Bryce Young takes another level up. He has to step up, has to improve. Obviously, Khalil Shakir is looking like the pure number one. Obviously, besides Coleman and then Dalton Kincaid, and Curtis Samuel, there's a lot of options there. But Khalil Shakir, fantasy wise, opens up a lot. You got Ladd McConkey here. But like I said, Curtis Samuel at 52, Swiss Army knife. Curtis Samuel, if they use him right, he's gonna get some. He's gonna have like a Swiss Army knife, Kansas City kind of style. Can he get you down there on the options? Can he get you down there from the slot, big plays down the field? But he's somebody that can catch a quick reverse, pitch off, or forward pass, pitch from Josh Allen and take it from inside the 10. Curtis Samuel, underrated Swiss Army knife. We're getting under 5,000 here. You got guys like Joshua Palmer, Khalif Raymond. You got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who's going to be a deep threat. Quentin Johnson against Las Vegas. There's opportunity there. Excuse me. Ooh, there was somebody that I wrote down. There goes Zay Jones. I already made a video about Greg Dortch. Greg Dortch, like I said, he has the ability, and like I said, he has the familiarity to playing with this offense and his quarterback, Kyler Murray. You got Jalen Gardner, you got Michael Wilson. But here's the guy that I really want to talk about. There's Olamide Zaccheaus, 4,400, and then let's go even lower. Because when Washington doesn't have the wide receiver depth, probably one of the more shocking cuts because obviously how much they had. Noah Brown. We all remember the big role when there was some injuries, the big role Noah Brown played. 4,200. Here's the thing that people don't remember. Once again, it's a pass funnel enough. We all think Tampa Bay is going to win this game and Washington's going to be playing from behind. But here's the thing. They also are very suspect at the slot. Now, Olamide Zaccheaus could probably play the slot, but they're probably going to have him on the outside. Noah Brown had one of his big weeks, if I'm not mistaken, because I covered it in one of my episodes last year. There you go, right there. He played the slot. Now, hopefully Washington push him in the slot, because one of the worst slot teams and one of the worst teams against tight ends. So this is like slot position. You know how like you split the tight end off the line. Maybe you put him in the slot off, because if he's on the line, he has to stay on the line. But if he's off the line, you can motion the tight end. But right there is the reason why I think people need to pay attention to Noah Brown more. He's going against Tampa Bay. Yes, not the same quarterback, but the same kind of situation. Bad in the slot and along with a pass funnel. His best game was last year, 24.3. That was the week I had him in Cavs games, and he definitely won me some money that week on November 5th. 6 targets, 6 catches, 153 yards, 1 touchdown. Please pay attention to Noah Brown. The depth in wide receiver, I thought it was Robert Woods that was going to get cut, but it was Noah Brown that ended up getting cut. The value is there in wide receiver, and that's why I wanted to really get all the way down here. You can go all the way down. And then on top of that, Noah did have some games where he did play well, but he did boom. He had back-to-back weeks, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, and then when players, he had the 18.2. Once again, look at that, Tennessee. Just things that happened or whatever. And then, of course, the end of the year came and then other wide receivers got back healthy besides Tank Dell. But Noah Brown is somebody that knows that he can attack Tampa Bay. If they keep him in the slot more, which Tampa Bay was one of the worst teams against the slot, look for a big game like that. Not saying go over the... All you need from somebody like me that plays in 20 maxes, 25 maxes, all you need is 2 or 3 of him to be above the field. And you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But here's a quick, I hope that was a very efficient wide receiver breakdown for you guys. It's time, man. We're a week away from the slate. Everybody enjoy your end of the summer activities, barbecues, and everything like that. Another episode will be dropped later today. I'm finishing up my running back notes and what I want to focus on and talk about. Hopefully you all enjoyed the wide receiver breakdown for week 1. Comment, like, subscribe. I will also be talking about more about the private league. I haven't activated it yet because once you activate, you can't make changes to week 2. I will be running a once again Legends of DFS private league on FanDuel, $10 entry. We got about 8-9 members right now in the league. I was able to talk to some people from a job and things like that, and people who are already there, they'll be in it. If you're interested in a nice little private league, $10 entry, winner take all. We get a little bit more people. I'll decide, to break up the prize pool so we can have at least a first, second, maybe even third or whatever the case is. But that happens with more people. Until then, as long as we stay in where we're at now in the low teens, $10 a week, winner takes all cash game. Obviously, FanDuel takes their cut, and then whoever wins week to week takes the rest of the prize pool. But other than that, that is the end of the breakdown for wide receiver week 1 on the Grade A Flicks channel. This is Grade A Fantasy. Look forward to talking about running backs later tonight. 2 videos will be dropping today. I hope you like this episode. Please check out my channel. The quarterback breakdown is on the 2024 playlist, Grade A Fantasy 2024 playlist. If you're looking for news, also on the 2024 playlist. Once again, the Juju Smith-Schuster signing and the value of Arizona with the value at wide receiver with Arizona with the Zay Jones suspension for 5 weeks. So what it opens up with Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch, because right now the most expensive wide receiver there, besides Trey McBride at tight end, Marvin Harrison Jr. is $6,600. After that, you drop all the way down to the mid 4,000s to the next wide receiver. So if you want to check those out, please do. This is Grade A Fantasy, signing off.